Okay guys, well welcome. Today is March 16th, it's Monday, it's the first day of no school, and we're going to start with the Year 5 class, okay? I gave you the worksheet last week to, I believe, all the classes, but maybe there can be a group or two that doesn't have the worksheet, so I'm going to put the worksheet on the description of this video so that you can download it. You will see that there is this session and next session, okay, will be homework sheet number 3 and number 4. So we're going to start with homework sheet number 3. As you know, this is the sign for hashtag, but originally it's the sign for number, okay? So this is homework number sheet for year 5. So we're going to start with the words that we want to learn this week. As always, there's 20 words. I'm going to read them, I'm going to spell them, and what you have to do with these words, remember, is to look, say, cover, write, and check. You look at the word, you read it out loud, you put it in your head, you close your eyes or you cover it, and then you write it, and then you check it. Then you compare what you write on your notebook and what you have originally, and if it's perfect, you check it, and you can already, when you finish all of them, write those words in your personal word wall. Is that big double paper that you glued in the back of your paper. Of course, the words have to go in alphabetical order. More about alphabetical order and spelling in the future, but let's get started with the words this week, okay? So I'm going to read all of them first, and then I'll go into the spelling. What, want, yes, take, there, everyone, play, so, out, our, be, thought, this, to, like, dog, have, has, son, well. Okay, so maybe not to make it too long, I'm not going to spell all of them, okay? I'm going to spell some of them, and I'm going to talk about which one may you have problems with. The first one, we don't want to say what, we don't want to say an open ah, because it's not that sound, it's what, okay? What is a WH word, okay, like where, when, why. The next one, want. Now, we have to talk a lot about this one. Now, this one is easy to confuse, want, with want. They sound very much the same, but they're very different words. Want is the contraction, and now I realize this word should have an apostrophe, okay? Want is the contraction of will plus not, and it becomes want, okay? Now, after want, we're always going to have a verb plus a verb. So, for example, I want do it. That means I am not going to do it. I am saying no. Okay, it's a negative sentence. I won't do it. Eat your soup. I won't do it. Now, very different, which is basically the opposite, to want. Want is going to be followed by I want to, and then a verb. All right, for example, I want to do it. As you can see, if we compare this sentence and this sentence, the two verbs sound very similar, although we write it differently, but the meaning is very different because we have the two there. So I want to do it, but when you say I want, you're always going to have I want something as a noun, I want pizza, I want chips, or if it's an action, I want followed by to and the verb. I want to do it, I want to sleep, I want to go out of the house, I want, but I want to do it. I want to get out of the house, but I won't do it. I will not do it, okay? So after that, yes, no problem with that. No problem with take. It's an action. There, okay, that's a word that we can hear in the British accent say there, and in American we will hear the R more, and it will be there, okay? Everyone, we gotta make sure that we sound the V. We don't want to say everyone. It's not a plosive, it's V, everyone, okay? That's one of the most difficult things to make a difference in English for us Spanish. Play, very simple word, so. Now, in the next two words, we have the same two letters beginning the words, and we pronounce that out. Even when it's an O-U, we say out and hour. Not to confuse, and there will be, and this is another homophone, if we wrote an H in front of the word hour, it will become hour, okay? Like the hours of the day, all right? When you tell time. But hour is a possessive pronoun. It's my house, and your house, it's our house, okay? So the verb to be, thought. This is the past of the verb to think, all right? I'm gonna erase this. The past of the verb to think, and even when there is a lot of letters, we only have to say three. Thought. All right? Thought. Okay? Well, thought. Now, if you are doing your look, say, cover, write, and check, and you are having problems with difficult words like this one, you can use another strategy, which is to write the word, copy the word, and after that, start writing one letter at a time and say the letter, okay? T, T-H, T-H-O, T-H-O-U, T-H-O-U-G, T-H-O-U-G-H, T-H-O-U-G-H, T. And now I make a neat triangle. This is going to help me learn the order of the letters and not forget any of the letters, okay? Thought. This. Now, when we say this is a short I. Now, not to confuse with these, which would be a long I, okay? Now, this is getting a little, well, this is phonetics, and you don't have to know this, but this is a short I, and this is a long I. And the difference between this one is when I talk about singular, about one thing, and these is two or more than one, or bigger or equal to two, all right? So I have, this is my computer, and if I had two computers, I would say these are my computers. Let's say two things. These are my glasses. These are my glasses, because I have, I'm talking in plural, so I would use this word, which is these, okay? Not this. The word we're learning this week is this, all right? Two. Well, not much to say. It's a number, but make sure that you don't say ch. That sound is t, 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 two. All right, practice that. Okay, like. It's when you like something. When something gives you pleasure. When something is good for you, you like it. Okay. Dog. The animal is your pet. Normally, and with some of the books that we are going to be reading, a dog is an animal, and we normally call it an it, all right? But you might see he or she. Animals refer to as he or she, especially when we're talking about our pets, because there is an emotional connection with the animal. After that, we have have and has. Both from the verb to have. Okay, has is the third person form of the verb to have. You know that normally in the present, on the third person, when we're talking in the present, for example, like, I have to write an S at the end of the verb in the present, only in the present. Well, in have, I don't have to write the S, it becomes has as a special form. Okay, some, when we're talking about things in plural, some things, some classes, some activities, but I don't know, I don't know, or I don't want to say specifically how many. I just say some. It could be 3, it could be 20, we don't know, or we don't want to say. And then well, it's an adverb, and it's similar to good, but it's how you feeling. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling well. Okay, sometimes you can use both, but not to be confused with the particle of the future. This is well is different from will. Okay, the difference is this is the particle we use for the future. We talked about want, which is the contraction of will and not. So well, it's also an interjection. It's also something that you use to say, well, it's a filler. It's like something you use when you don't know what to say, or when you finish something, going to talk about something else. Well, let's move on to activity number 2. Okay, so don't forget, do your look, say, cover, write, and check, and then add these words to your mini word wall in the back of your notebook. And now let's go to the second activity, which is verbs. Okay, we're going to make a little table. Okay, so I need, let me check out, because I think you guys only have the present and the past. Right, we have the present and the past, so that's our tense. Our tense, the first one is the past. I'm sorry. The first one is the present. The second one is the past. And then here I'm going to write the positive, the negative, and the interrogative question. Okay? And the interrogative sentence. Alright? So this is going to be my table. I'm going to have 6 little rectangles where I'm going to be writing my sentences. Now, it says that you have to write, let's start first with the first one. They give you he and sing. All right, now I said that when I have he, she, or it, I need an S in the present, in the positive. So I'm going to say he sings. He sings. All right? Only with he, she, and it, the third person singular in the present. That's the only time I need to put the S at the end of the verb, okay? So he sings, all right? Now, when I have to do a negative sentence or a question, I need an auxiliary verb. The auxiliary verb that I want to use is the verb do, all right? Do. However, in the third person, I need to use the third person form of do. And that one is does. It's adding an S, but to make it sound does, we need an E in the middle, okay? And because every time that we add an S, whether it's a third person singular or a plural, to words that end on O in English, like potato, I need an ES, potatoes. That would be ended on ES. Alright, so now I need to do the negative. I know that the negative is with do, but because I am with the third person, it's going to be with does. So everything stays the same. He does. Now I'm going to say not, and then sing. Now a lot of you keep the S when we do the negative. Don't do that. We are not going to say he doesn't sings, okay? the S is already in the does. This S moves to the do. So it disappears from the S, because if not, I am duplicating the mark of the S, and it's like saying in Spanish, él no canta. So that sounds bad in English. He doesn't sings. That's bad. We don't say the S at the end. And you can say he does not sing, or you can contract it into doesn't. Okay? The question in Spanish, as we mentioned many times, you say he sings, he sings. You just you show that you are asking a question. In English, we need to make some changes to the words. If we look at the, so I'm just gonna add the auxiliary verb in front of the positive. So I'm gonna say, does he sing? And again, there is no S in the main verb. There is no sings, okay? Because I have it in the does. Does he sing? All right. Let's go to the past. Sing is an irregular verb, okay? And the past form of sing is sang with an A, okay? So basically, he sang, okay? Now, if it was an irregular verb, we would add ed at the end of sing, but it's not, okay? So it has a special form, he sang. Of course, the S disappears. There is only an S in the present, okay? All other tenses, all other verb forms have no S in the verb. So he sang. Now, if I have an auxiliary verb in the present, and that is do or does for the third person, in the past, I need the past of do. Now, the past of do is did. And there is only one form. There is no difference between any of the persons. It doesn't matter if it's first person, second person, third person, singular, plural, nothing changes, okay? So my negative is going to be, the past of thus is going to be did, and then not, did not. So he did not, and here is where the trick comes a little complicated. The verb now is going to be not present, infinitive, call it whatever you want. It goes back to sing, okay? Because the past is in the did, all right? So I don't want to duplicate and say sang. That wouldn't sound good. He did not sing. That would sound in Spanish like él no cantó, or something like that. Something strange, something weird. It doesn't sound good, okay? So that would be the negative in the past. He did not sing. And the question, just like here, is the same, only we have to alter the order of the words, change the order of the words, and just change the does into the past. Did he sing? All right? That's it. Now we're going to move on to the second example. Now the second example on the paper is they and run. They run. Now, it's a third person, but in this case it's not singular, it's plural. So the S rule does not apply. So run is also, when I do the past, run is also an irregular verb, okay? It's not going to be making the past adding ed. It has a special form which is the same as in the present, run, okay? So what is the present positive going to be? And I'm not going to write this because you guys can do this at home, but I'm going to say the positive present would be they run. The negative would be, yes, you guessed it, they don't run. They don't run, okay? The question is going to be not does, because it's not the third person singular, so we go to the do. Do they run? And in the past, remember, is an irregular verb, so it has a special form, it's the same as the present. So they run. Now, actually, now that I'm saying that, the past of run is ran, okay, with an A. So the difference between the present and the past is going to be this one. They ran and they run. Remember, that's going to be an open A sound, run, and this is going to be a short ran. Okay, they run, they ran. Okay, the past is going to be they did not. And now, again, it's not going to be ran. It's going to be run. Okay, we don't want to duplicate the past. They did not run. Okay, you see the difference between the A in the positive and the U in the negative, because the past is already on the did. Okay, and to finish the lesson today, the question would be, did they run? All right, so thank you for your attention. Like I said in the introduction to this series, this is a class for year 5, although my year 4 and year 6 students can watch it, and I think it will do them good. And for everybody, go to the channel. I'm going to upload some of the readings and do a little reading. Watch the video with the print, with the words. You can follow the read aloud, and you have to read along with the voice, and stay strong. And I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.